Hey everybody, this is Jasmine Banks. Following up on that whole Michael Jackson, Joseph Fiennes casting situation, which of course just makes so much sense, doesn't it? Well, as we said before, Joseph Fiennes said, "Oh, I'm surprised. I had no idea that I was cast in this role," which anyone in the industry knows is bullshit. I'm sorry. Not how it works. So when one is cast in a film, just like being hired for a job, you know that you were hired for the job. They have to tell you. And pretty much either they audition you, they interview with you, they get in touch with you and say, would you be willing to do it? It's not like being drafted into, doing service for something. You have a choice. You're not just told, you're playing Michael Jackson, that's it. He knew. So, as I said before, I personally think the story is a publicity stunt for this movie, and as it turns out, it's something that was already shot, probably sometime early last year, because now Joseph Fiennes is talking about how it was already filmed, whereas 2 weeks ago he was talking about how he had no idea that he was cast in this role. What a surprise! See what I mean? Now, to be fair, when you make a web series, movie, a TV show, whatever it is, depending on the storyline and what you want to keep under wraps, yes, you have to get into this publicity game where there's some things you can't tell yet. And so knowing that people are going to ask you these questions, you have to come up with the story for now. Is it lying? Yes, of course it's lying. But then again, things are very competitive in this field. You don't want someone else to maybe come out with the same idea or spill the beans, put a spoiler out, whatever it is, because you don't want to lose an audience, you want to gain an audience. So I can understand why when the different celebrities are put on the spot, or the writers or the directors or whatever, there's what they want to reveal right now and what they want to save for later. And either they can just come up with a lie or a story for now, or they can go, well, we can't tell you just yet, but we will tell you soon. Those are two different techniques. Are they both good? Of course. Is there one that's right and one that's wrong? No, there isn't. Is there one that earns more respect than the other? Both can end up that way, but then again, depending on how they do it, the other way can really work against them. And that's my opinion in this case, is Joseph Fiennes shouldn't have been saying, gee, I had no idea. I don't know what they could have said. Maybe, well, I can't talk about that now. Maybe go with the, I don't know, I can't talk about anything that I might be considered for or something like that. But not, I had no idea. And then 2 weeks later, yes, I know. I was in the film already and it's already shot. I don't know, it makes me lose respect for him, especially knowing how controversial this casting is. Now, like I said before, if this is something on par with Saturday Night Live and sketch comedy, and it's not making fun of Michael Jackson in a negative way. Let me give you an example. Billy Crystal, when he did Sammy Davis Jr., that's an homage to Sammy Davis Jr. You know what I mean? And it's not blackface. It's just like when Whoopi Goldberg played a white male, and I forget what the name of the movie was. I think her character's name was Eddie. But anyway, she went into full makeup to become a white male, okay? Blackface is just a totally different thing. It's literally painting part of the face black, accentuating the lips with red. It's not making someone look like a real person. That is not blackface. Now, the time it gets into blackface, brown face, yellow face, stuff like that, is when you are taking a serious role And that could be in a comedy, that could be in a drama, but this is supposed to be a real person, but you cast a white person to play someone of another color because you chose not to take someone from that ethnic group, that becomes blackface, brownface, yellowface, and so on. A good example of that is the movie Short Circuit, and there was an Indian character, and there were so many Indian little boys that were like, oh my God, see, I could become an actor one day, and everybody was all excited about this, just to find out that, nope, that was a white guy. You know, I remember as a kid watching F Troop. Yeah, I'm dating myself right now. And all of the Native Americans were played by Italian and Jewish guys in, I guess they would call it red face. You know, and when you think back on it, so not cool. The same thing with West Side Story, the movie. You know, when you look at all the Latinos, and you know, most of them are just white guys in really bad brown face. I mean, as a kid, I didn't see it necessarily, but when I look at it now, how could you not see it? And I'm half Latino. You know, I should have just seen it, but when you're a child, I don't know, you see things differently, and I wasn't looking for it to be something that was controversial. I was enjoying the music and the dancing and the story. But I hope that as a country we're learning our lesson on this stuff is offensive. And I hope that this movie, though it's not here, it's you know, overseas, but still, I hope the Western world is learning a lesson and moving forward instead of backwards. I hope we're not continuing a very hurtful history towards people of color in this casting. I really hope it's not that. I hope it's, you know, like a Saturday Night Live sketch, and that, you know, it's just he did an awesome job at an impression, and it's going to be something that's funny but yet respectful. And the same with the casting of Elizabeth Taylor, and I think it's Marlon Brando is the other actor that was on this road trip. I really hope it's something like that, because if it's a serious portrayal of Michael Jackson, I just think it's wrong, and you can't tell me that they could not have found a black actor to play Michael Jackson. Yes, Michael Jackson had vitiligo, and that's the cheap excuse that they're using, but I'm sorry. I 100% don't agree that you cannot find a black actor to get made up to be a black guy with vitiligo. I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. I think it's really offensive, because there's so much more to Michael Jackson than his skin tone from a disease that was not his fault, you know. And just the whole thing of choosing white people to still be, you know, the dominant visual that we see. I mean, I have to be honest. I mean, I'm white, but I'm getting tired of seeing white people. I've been tired of seeing white people on the screen for a while, and I love when I see diversity on screen, because that's the real world, and I really want that. Now, I understand if it's a period piece and we're in Sweden, and that's, you know, of course there were going to be just, you know, a bunch of, you know, blonde, tall giants walking around. I get it. That's fine. That's all good. But in general, no. There's, you know, especially you're talking about a studio that has a lot of money. There's no reason they couldn't afford to do a lot of casting to get this right, if it's a serious portrayal. Again, to be fair, when it comes to, you know, independent projects, and if you're, you know, doing something with no budget or a very low budget, casting can become very, very difficult when you're trying to really target a specific group. You know, if you're trying to cast someone, their character has to be Asian, or their character has to be well, Indian, still Asian, or whatever. You may have to change your mind if you can't find the right actor to do justice to the role, I would still say, no, you're not going to do brown face, red face, yellow face, black face, anything like that. It's still not okay without a budget, and you can't find the right actor, and you could only find some white guy that could do justice by it. You're still not going to paint them up. That is wrong. That's when you have to just change the story to accommodate the person who can do the job. Because the reality when you don't have a budget and you can't just cast forever, whatever it is that you don't have the money to do this, is, well, you do the best you can with your intention to keep the casting as diverse as possible, or to target a specific type of character that you're after to tell that story. But at the end of the day, it's really difficult, because a lot of actors, it's not that there aren't a lot of actors within that ethnic group or cultural group or whatever, that it's not like there are no people that can do justice to that job. It's a matter of people become good at something, they advance to a level where you can't afford to get the actors you want at that point. So now you're dealing with a lot of beginners, and do those beginners happen to see your ad? Are you able to get everybody to audition that you would like? Do you have the time to allow for people to eventually, coincidentally, make their way to you? Probably not. And this is where it's a problem with casting when it comes to that stuff. But that's why I say a big studio with a lot of money, no. They have the money to put the ads out, to reach all these different casting agents, to really get the actor that fits the character. They just do. And, are they on a deadline? Yes, but still, they can extend that if they really want to. I'm not saying extend it for years. It's not going to take them that long to find the right person. It might take them a while, but they don't need to have a white guy play Michael Jackson. So I'll be curious to see what happens with this. What kind of a movie is it? I really hope it's not another slap in African Americans' faces. I really hope it's not that. So let's see.